We're moving into the word problems unit, and the first section we'll call 3.9a, the problem solving plan. Now before we begin, I want you to give these next two problems a shot on your own, and then push play and see how you did on them. All right, the first one says a shirt at Kohl's costs $26 and has a sales tax of 6.75%. What is the total cost of the shirt? So the first thing that we need to do, there's a couple ways you can do this, but we need to figure out what that sales tax is going to be. So we need to do 26 times this percentage. Now remember, you have to change this percentage into a decimal. So we move the decimal twice to the left, 0.0675. So we have to figure out what 6.75% of $26 is. So we need to multiply those. So 26 times 0.0675, that's going to be our sales tax. So once we know what the tax is, we need to add that to the original cost of the shirt, which is $26. So we have to take the cost of the shirt and add the taxes. The taxes are $26 times 0.0675. That gives us 1.755. And we have to add that to the $26. So we get $27.76. Give yourself a check, a star if you got that one right. Number 2. Pause here if you haven't tried this one yet and give it a shot. A price of a stock increased 15% from the original price of $1,200. Find the new price. So 15%, we're going to take the $1,200 and we need to multiply that times 15%, 0.15. Again, here was where the decimal would be. We move it twice to the left, which would be 0.15. 1,200 times 0.15 is going to be 180. Now it increased, so this is the increase. And we need to add that to the original. So if the original is 1,200, we add that to the 180, and that gives us 1,380 is going to be the new price. The new price is $1,380. This one here, these are word problems, and one of the things we have to work on is if it's given in words, then my rule of thumb is that you answer it in words. So the total cost of the shirt is $27.76. So if it's asked in words, then you give your answer in words. All right. Those are some problems you probably did last year or the year before, so hopefully those didn't challenge you too much. Problem solving plan. Now here are the steps that we want to work on as we're doing a problem. We want to choose a variable for anything that's unknown, write expressions for the knowns, write an equation, solve the equation, and check your answer. Now these are our most basic ones, so hopefully once you do the first couple you can do the rest on your own. So in the first one it says, Luke has $5 more than Sam. Together they have $73. How much do each of them have? Now, we want to choose a variable for the unknown, and technically we don't know how much Luke has or how much Sam has. So we want to choose a variable for the one we know nothing about. So, do we know nothing about Luke or do we know nothing about Sam? Now it says Luke has 5 more than Sam. So we know something about Luke. Luke's got 5 more than Sam. Sam's the one we know nothing about. Sam's the one we know nothing about. So we want to choose a variable for the guy or the thing that we know nothing about. So what I want you to do first is set up who we're talking about here. We're talking about Luke and you're talking about Sam. So I want you to set those up. Now, since we don't know anything about Sam, we will call Sam, I would call him S for Sam, but that causes some problems because it looks like a 5. So we'll call Sam X because we don't know anything about Sam. Now we want to write an expression for the ones we do know something about. We know Luke has 5 more than Sam. Now remember, more than means we flip it around. So Luke has 5 more than Sam, and if Sam has X, then we use X there. Okay, so Sam's the one we know nothing about, we give it a variable. Luke we know something about, we can write an expression for Luke. And again, we flipped it around because it said more than. Then we can move on to the next step. Together they have $73. Together meaning when you add them together, so you can add vertically. When we add them together, it should equal $73. So x plus x is 2x plus 5 equals 73. And then we just solve that equation. Undo addition and subtraction first, so we subtract 5 from both sides. We get 2x equals 68, and divide by 2, and we get x equals 34. Now, once we solve it, we want to check it, make sure it makes sense. So if if Sam has x, that means Sam has $34. Luke is 5 more than Sam, so that means he has 39. And we want to add these up and make sure that they add up. So 39 plus 34, does it equal 73? Yes, it does. So you can write a sentence. Sam has $34 and Luke has $39. Okay. Let's try another one. Number 2. There are 12 people on a jury. There were 4 more men than women. How many men and women are on the jury? Again, we know we're talking about men and women. So set those up first. Now, there are 12 people on a jury. Let's get back to that one. There were 4 more men than women. So which one do we know nothing about? Is it the men or the women? There are 4 more men than women. So it's actually the women that we know nothing about. It's usually the one at the end. So we'll call women W. There are 4 more men than women. More men. So if we take the women and we add 4 more, that'll give us the men. There are 12 people on the jury. That means total. When you add the men and the women together, you should get 12 people on the jury. So we add down W plus W is 2W plus 4 equals 12. And we solve this. Undo addition and subtraction. So subtract 4 from both sides and we get 2W equals 8. Divide by 2 and we should get W equals 4. Now plug these back in and see what we get. Women would be 4. 4 plus 4 would be 8. Do they add up to give you 12? Yes. And only until you check it should you should not write the sentence until you know that that does come out to be correct. So there are 4 women and 8 men on a jury, or on the jury, whatever you want. Okay? All right. Next one. Okay. A wooden rod 60 inches long is sawed into 2 pieces. One piece is 6 inches longer than the other. How long is each piece? So we need to set up our 2 pieces. You can call them whatever you want, but I might call it piece 1 and piece 2. A wooden rod. What?